Alright guys, today we checked for push rod length. I'm going to do a quick video, kind of how to show you how to do that. You got to grab, usually I like nylon rope. If you do buy some and you cut it, burn the ends. You don't want any of those fragments falling into your cylinder. This one, I already melted one end. So you want to stuff the cylinder with the rope. And I already removed the valve, so I'm just showing you how to get the valve to stay up. So this is how you keep the valve from falling when you remove the valve. So now we got the majority of it in there. We're going to rotate our engine until it's at top dead center. But before you even get there, it's going to lock up. You don't want to really push it past that. You're going to start hurting stuff. So at that point, you know, you can remove, I'm kind of simulating with my hands how it would be done, but you're going to remove your retainer with your valve spring compressor, take your locks out, and the valve is going to be held in place. You see I'm pushing down the retainer. I already got my chucking spring in there, and the valve isn't dropping. So once you do all that, spin the engine the opposite way to bring it back down. Take all this back out. Now, I'm just going to show you guys this for reference, but this is the pattern that I ended up with. And the guys at Trickful did a really good job of designing their parts and engineering them, because I started out with the push rod length that they said, which was 6.750, and it said that it should be within 50 thousandths of that. We were at 6.8. So once, you know, I did that, I rotated the engine. That's the pattern I ended up with. But what you're going to want to do is, obviously, you grab your checker. This is the homemade one that I made. You know, if you don't have a dial caliper that will go that big like I do, you can use a tape measure. It's not the most accurate way, but with a hydraulic camshaft, keep in mind you do get stuff that acts as a little bit of a fluffer. And most push rods, unless you're making or getting custom made ones, only come in 50 thousandths increments. So keep that in mind. So this one, when I measured it, it actually measured out at 6 13/16, which comes out to be, if you do the formula to convert it into a decimal, it's 6.812. So we're going to call it 6.8. Because at that point, that little bit isn't going to be that drastic, and we still have to factor in preload. So we could go up 50 and make it a little longer and throw this off, or we could go down a little bit, not by much, and keep it as close as possible. Now I did, even with the checker, I did give it a quarter turn, which was going to be my preload that I'm going to run on this, and that is the pattern I got. So all that was factored in. So you grab your checker, grab your rocker arm that you're going to run, you install it. You know, first thing you do is you grab your Sharpie, the top of the valve stem, you're going to mark it in so you see where your pattern falls. So make sure if you got roller rockers that the indentation for the polylock is right. You don't want that at the bottom, and it's not going to sit positive on the rounded part either. So make sure you got that right. So since the checking springs are on there, they're very soft. So you're going to get the valve to move pretty easy. Right there it dropped a little bit. So with that in place, we're going to just go ahead and move it side to side. Take it back off. I didn't press in hard enough, but you can see we got a pattern. That's just to see where it's at. And we are in the center of the valve stem, so you're good. Now, to truly check how your pattern looks, you have to rotate the engine a couple of times. Alright, so now that we've done all that, go ahead, you can remove your rocker arm now. And our pattern stayed the same, it didn't change. This spring is a little too soft for my application, but you know, that's where my pattern was. I am getting a full contact, and that's how thin it is. And it's not dragging, because that's the pattern I'm getting at the top of the valve stem. It just I've done it quite a few times, so the permanent marker really is kind of actually staying on there. My shirt isn't even wiping it off. So a little dab of oil does help too, so that you can actually get a better pattern, but that does act as a good reference. That is how thin our pattern is on that run. And it didn't drag. It would have left a mark on there. So from here, we order our push rods, which we're going to order 6.8, one-piece hardened trick flows for these heads. And we're going to assemble it, and for that I'm thinking about doing a time-lapse video, so guys stay tuned. That's going to come probably next weekend is when I'm going to take probably Saturday to build an entire engine, top to bottom, or bottom to top, you start at the bottom. But I got all the parts, and I actually got enough parts to build another engine. I am going to build another small block Ford as well. Same person, but that one's going to get sold. This is going to get put into use. So guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Copper's Garage. I hope this video helps explain a couple things. If I left anything out, let me know. It's just how I do it, what I've learned over the years, how to check for push rod length. Hope it helps you guys out.